safe space where you can explore it, because that's when people really start to make progress and to heal, or to do the things that they want to feel more confident.
For the whole, to access the record, how long does it take?
It's usually a 45-minute session. Lots of information comes through, and that gives chance for people to ask follow-up questions, explore deeper a category.
And we are just told, we are conditioned to trust others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then it takes us so much of time to trust myself. My feelings are true.
What I know probably looks insane on paper to other people, like that's crazy, that you know what I mean? Like, they don't understand the ins and out of it, but that knowing lands so peacefully. That's like a card I keep close to my vest, and I don't show it to other people, because that's where that beautiful way through something is wanting to be birthed.
Accessing the records is, I don't apply any sort of movement of energy in that, because the information that wants to come out of one's energy field to their awareness has its own healing effect.
Yeah, it's so beautiful when we say that you see more clearly with your eyes closed. Similarly, the moment you see something, it simultaneously starts healing. We blindfold ourselves because of fear and because of trauma, because of so much we don't know. The moment we see it with the divine intervention, it starts healing. Thank you, Morgan, for being part of Spiritual Tara, and to be here to accept this invitation. And with the beginning of 2026, yours is the first conversation we are having.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, and today is a very beautiful day in India. It's called Lodi, it's Pongal, where the winter harvest season begins and we celebrate. They say the winter starts now falling down, and then it's a celebration of, light in the night, and we burn. I mean, there's so much of dance and music, and it's a very beautiful celebration in all over India today.
Beautiful. Oh, how stunning.
Yeah. Morgan, as we are talking about various modalities and about Morgan, I just felt that let's keep an intent. So today I intend to talk to you, to know more about you and your life journey, and the modality chose you or you chose the modality, what exactly it came around you and how it came around you, and how you're helping many people and feeling good about it, and it's growing wider, deeper, and in fact you are giving these people their hope, retrieving their confidence. And with each case, I mean, as I see you, you are becoming more confident about your life and how you have to deal with life around. So we will be talking about that. So thank you once again, Morgan.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So Morgan is a Akashic record teacher, healer, and practitioner. She is also an acupuncturist, a Reiki master, and understand and practices Oriental medicine. So your journey is not only with the physical world, it is also the esoteric or cosmic world, which is the completion of both.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful. And especially Akashic record it comes from Sanskrit, Akash, the tattva, the element, which is the space element, that everything came from there and everything will go there. We come from there and we'll go. It's a space, it's a creation, and we are the creator of our destiny, and everything, all records are there. Yeah. And then we become a channel to tap into that with whatever the question of the soul appears, open the pages, bring it. And
I love
and
that.
and we help ourselves and everybody around. Is that so, Morgan?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's such a beautiful description. I love that. It's so apt. It's exactly what happens.
Yeah. So I would like to know about you, Morgan.
Yeah.
How did you from acupuncturist to Morgan Akashic record practitioner?
I
That
love the way
transition.
you put that in the beginning, where you're like, "Did you choose it, or did it choose you?" And it's the way that spirit, often the universe, however you like to word it, has this sort of plan for us to kind of push this in our direction. Yeah, so I'm American, and I grew up in the States, where I studied acupuncture and oriental medicine, and I always had my kind of what I call my metaphysics side, and it was really kind of easy to hide it behind this physical medicine. But I believed so much in physical medicine when I was, gosh, 23. So well over 20 years ago, was diagnosed with a case of multiple sclerosis. And it was really, I was considered disabled. It was very debilitating. And so that was kind of the first catalyst to push me into an alternative medicine. I wanted to study traditional medicine. And this interesting thing happened in this journey where, like, the doctors were telling me I had this disease and it was named this, and my future was going to look like that. And it's just this voice inside of me that was like, that's not me. That's like, I just heard that so clearly. Like, and I thought, what is this? How do I know with every cell of my body? They're not talking about me yet. They're standing in front of me using my name and talking about what my body's doing. And it really started to unfold two things at the same time now that I look back. So it really just helped me, understand my natural innate gifts. But I thought, and the more I listened to it, the more my physical body changed, the things I needed to heal, the things I needed to look at, the things I needed to change and apply physically. It was really quite a remarkable journey. And it was only a couple of years where I was completely symptom free, and it's been considered benign for over a decade now. But it really informed my original career path in, like, oh, I'll do acupuncture, right? And I helped a lot of people that was in that space between, I'm having a lot of symptoms, the doctors don't know what's wrong with me, what do we do? And I was like, oh, I've got this thing, the records, but I didn't really name it that. It was easy to just sort of sneak it in there. And then when I moved to Portugal, goodness, 10 years ago, as it would have, I can't actually practice here. And I really see that as spirit's way of pushing me to strip out the facade, the physical medicine part, to step into fully the energetic part, which is this phase of my path. So working strictly with the records is how that kind of came about. And as I really piece through what that happened, I really can see part of who I am and my gifts, but where we all, so what you just described the records is I stand at that threshold between where the metaphysical meets the physical, and having the science in the background and the spirit put together, we see how our thoughts, our feelings, the information from that space informs our reality. And when we can start working with one, we can shift the other. Quite remarkable, really.
Well, that's something, when you realize that, of course, the physical reality is the truth. Without physical, there's nothing, right? This is what we feel, what we sense,
Yeah.
it's here, everything. And yet, that we are the drop of that ocean, which is the cosmic energy. And that means that the drop has the complete ocean in it. Like when the blood tests are done, it's only a few drops are taken, and whole DNA, everything is, it's here. The whole report is here. We are part of that. And that is an energy which we usually are not taught, because we are so much with the physical realm and success or failure or diseases or everything is on our physical matter based. And that's and then something if, like you said, it's about your MS, multiple
Mhm.
sclerosis. And then you realize that, okay, fine, doctor saw you that way, people saw you. And then you realize that, boom, there's probably more.
Yeah.
And let's get into that. And what exactly? So this is a curiosity part. I mean, I always feel either we are seeking for the answers, or
Mhm.
the seeker is also seeking that this soul has to come to me. What should I now throw in her way,
Yeah.
on her path, that she comes and sees, okay, there is a pebble, there is something which is hurting my leg. Otherwise we just take it for granted and we say, okay, fine, it hurts and it's okay, probably it's this and that, and we carry on with those things. But I always feel this, that power also throws all those situations in front of that soul, because they
Yes.
know that this soul is capable of asking the question.
Yeah.
We don't ask questions. We are not taught to ask questions as kids also. Yeah.
Right? Sit down, quiet down, do your work, don't ask. Like,
Yeah, we
yeah,
don't.
but
We say,
no.
follow. Okay, I'm mother. Don't ask me questions. I'm telling you what I know the best because of my experiences and all. In schools, don't ask. You ask question what I have told you is behind the chapter. Don't ask any other question. This is not in curriculum.
I love that. And I think for some of us, like myself in particular, I can speak about, and it's both, like that experience of the seeker sending it in my way and me participating. That was my introduction to patterning. I had no idea what patterning was. Like the pattern we carry, what's in our energy, and how that, I had none of that in my understanding as a 20-something-year-old. And then again, you begin to learn the things we can control to inform this truth, this knock knock reality, like you're talking about. And there's one thing that I have always been in awe of, and I'm constantly reminded of hundreds of patients that I've treated and all the clients that I serve. Everyone is going through something. Everyone has that thing on the other side we can't see. And so it's a constant reminder, don't always trust what we're seeing. Don't always trust reality. There's something more informing what's going on, and to get curious and to find a safe space where you can explore it, because that's when people really start to make progress and to heal, or to do the things that they want to feel more confident, whatever the thing is. It's like, it's so important. And I teach this to my kids. We can't always take reality at at face value. We must ask some questions, and we must get curious and look at it another way, because things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And
Yeah.
especially with the healing modalities and it goes simultaneously. I mean, like people talk about astrology, Morgan, and
Yeah.
people talk about, and everything is fine. Yet,
Mm-hmm.
even in astrology, you're born in that nakshatra, you're born in those, time frame, everything
Yep.
is understood. Yet, when we talk about the healing, it goes beyond.
Yes.
Right? It is of
Yeah.
understanding. It's of stripping off. It's becoming uncluttered. It's become daring to be soul naked somewhere
Yeah, it
and
is.
still feel, safe in that vulnerability. That
Mm-hmm.
yes, I choose to heal and I choose to understand it respectfully, and I
Yeah.
choose to. Even if I don't want to forgive, okay, fine. I'm ready not to forgive somebody else. But am I forgiving myself because this is showing in my body? You
Yes, and that's
understand?
the
It's
thing,
such
is
a,
the powers in the choice of how we approach it.
yeah,
I teach this to all my students, like things aren't always written in the stars the way we think.
yeah.
We have power to think differently, choose differently. I have a really wild story about how the records, what they did with me this summer, and the information that I received from them, and the choices I could make from it. But like you're talking about, to me, they're the space to feel safe, to be like naked and vulnerable. There's this,
Yeah.
it's that realm of unconditionality where there's no judgment or those mirrors of self-criticism. It's like we can just see a thing like it's outside of us and go, oh my goodness, I can really make a different choice about that.
Mm. And it's also somewhere, Morgan, that you start trusting. The first thing is the faith and the trust
Yes.
in the process,
Yeah.
and in the sense of knowing that there
Mm-hmm.
is a bigger power, and there is something which is, we are part of that power to create.
Yeah.
That free will, that 80-20 ratio, okay,
Yeah.
80% is something
Mhm.
written already done. But that 20%, who rule the world, that 20% rules us. I mean, somewhere in the psyche, it gives you a knock on your soul,
Yeah,
right?
it does. And
And
it's
yeah, it's so
incredible.
interesting. And then the door has to be opened inside, not the outside. Door is
I,
always inside.
it's so true. It is so
Wow.
true. It is to understand that that door is on the inside. I
Yeah.
think the trust thing, I don't know that I've met another human who has just come into this life like fully trusting themselves. Like we learn to trust this intuition, our sense of knowing. And the more we, at least for me, the more I age, the older I get, I'm like, you know what if I just trust myself first? And then, I've spent so many years of my life trusting that
Wow.
I was wrong, everything else was right. And the messes I've gotten in from that, goodness gracious, like
And it's
such a
so
headache.
beautiful. Yeah, you said it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful that because when we are born, we are so dependent about on our circumstances, on our parents, on our everything. A human child is the only one which takes time to stand up and start walking and going to school out of all the
Yeah.
species. And we are just told, we are conditioned to trust others,
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
then it takes us so much of time to trust myself. My
Mhm.
feelings are true. This is what I feel. Why, how, when, what happened, it's something else. But to accept it, yes, I feel this
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yes. And
So
that knowing thing that you're talking about, that's to me, that's the ticket. And what I've really learned is what I know probably looks insane on paper to other people. Like that's crazy that you know what I mean? Like they don't understand the ins and out of it, but that knowing lands so peacefully. That's like a card I keep close to my vest and I don't show it to other people because that's where that beautiful way through something is wanting to be birthed. Yet if we tell people that, oh, that's impossible, that's this, there's all that doubt that comes in. And so when I know a knowing comes in, I'm like, ooh, that's crazy on paper. That's my thing. Like, that's for
so
me. Thanks,
interesting.
Spirit.
So
Yeah.
empowering the moment you
Uh-huh.
realize that.
Yeah.
So what is Akashic Records?
Right. So you explained them quite beautifully. There are this incredible realm. It's just this space, right?
Yeah.
They're very high dimensional, they're high frequency, high vibrational. They're like the database of your soul, so to speak. Often describe them like your information is recorded in radio waves. And so you go in and you want to listen to the radio, you want to hear what your soul has to say, but you want a real specific channel. So maybe you want to listen to jazz. So you turn the dial and listen to jazz. Maybe jazz is looking at your relationship patterns, then maybe you want to listen to some more rock and roll. Maybe that's your career path and whatnot. But you can really just tune into these different wavelengths. And the thing about the space, like I said, they are the most unconditional space. It's a place we can go to look at the parts of us we may be self-conscious of or want to hide from others, or some wounding we've carrying because we had maybe some traumatic experiences in our life that left us really hurt and raw. This is the space we can look at them through a lens of compassion, through love, through, okay, what does it take to kind of heal this and shift this? Because I don't want to feel this way anymore. And you begin to learn more of who you are authentically. It connects you with that higher self, sort of knowing, understanding, why did I come down here to do all of these things? And how can I do them more gently type of questions? Because we start learning through that illusion, through who we're not, until we raise our consciousness and understand more of who we are. Then we can start learning through that lens of love and through growth and through a gentle manner.
Yeah, so it is something anybody can access to that, of course, with the guide. Anybody
Yeah.
for any question, or it's especially, or should I put it this way, that when do people contact you? When should
Yeah.
you contact? When you should be contacted?
Absolutely. No, every word, thought, deed, action, everything your soul has gotten up to in every single incarnation
Past
is
life
recorded there.
and
Past, previous, and future possibilities, right?
Okay.
The records hold this thing that free will is so important. So we have these trajectories we can go on, but it's like they want us to be part of that choice, whether consciously or unconsciously. So yeah, you can look at past lives, you can look at this life, you can look at the space between lives, you can look at the lessons you came to. Honestly, people come to me when they're at some sort of crossroad. They don't know what to do. They have this sense that their marriage has completed a karmic cycle, or they can't find the person that they want to be with and spend their time with, or their career wants to be like this, but they're not successful. Like they're this crossroad thing. And what is so beautiful about the records in those kind of instances, it just, you don't even have to know the questions to ask. It just kind of moves forward the energy that is most relevant to the moment in time for the person. And so it's just giving them really clear action steps, really clear perspectives. And 99% of the time, it gives a confirming message to something somebody already kind of senses or feels. They just don't really trust themselves to know that or to hear it. So I just kind of clarify what their guides and what the records want to say.
So does it also include that past life regression kind of thing? No, it's a study and exercise.
It can.
Oh.
Yeah. What I've found though, when we open the records just to channel the information, it can often move things in your reality. So a reading or a channeling is a little bit different than going in specifically to do like a healing or a regression. It's just sort of opening a different energy field within the records. And that's, you know, nothing that a client would need to know, because that would be somebody a practitioner would do. But it's really powerful to have your records read. It's really what it can bring forward, and how clients feel it move through their body. They feel the energy shifting. So there is always some healing element happening. The guardians of the records are called the masters, teachers, and loved ones. When someone's records are open, the masters, teachers, and loved ones are always working on their energy, peeling off layers, healing them, delivering messages through those senses in a very higher self manner that you can't help but feel shifted on the other side.
And besides this, as you mentioned about the MS thing, are the disease also curable with this or understandable with this?
Understandable, yes. We can look at the patterning. We can look at
what needs to be done. Is it also, does that also be guided over there? It's guided there?
Yeah. Yes. So we can look at past lives are connected. If it's familial lines, if there's healings, we can channel around treatment protocols and things, because the physical body itself manifests through the emotional, mental, and, the physical state. And it has this thing that there's sort of this point of no return. So depends on how far one's disease has progressed through the physical, that there may regress to a certain point. So we don't know how that looks. A good example of mine is a client, she's in her mid 70s, and I mean, her knees were just bone on bone. And she came to me for many readings and was just like, I know it's available. We can heal this. And she's like a Reiki master. She's thrown everything at it. And finally I had to sit her down and I'm like, listen, the guardians are saying the way to have the quality of life is through surgery. There's nothing your physical body is able to do to reverse that at your age and in this time frame and in this lifetime. You've done all the patterning, all the things. And she actually just released the fear around it, booked a surgery, and she's doing quite well. Like, you know what I mean? It was all this notion of like, I can't have a physical surgery, I'm going to heal this, but it was keeping her in such a pain pattern. So, and in that instance, that was the path through. So
this is so interesting, because everybody, like I said, is looking for some answers. Morgan, when we are talking about Akashic Records, or generally when we think about ourselves, we are so eager to know about our future and to have answers, even if it's like besides fear, besides uncertainty, besides doubt or any physical ailment, we are still so eager to know what next,
Yep.
right? So, for Akashic record, is it important to have a particular question to enter that zone, or you can, access to it and yourself you can start it with all the readings of what is happening in that record, or does a person need to have a question to begin with, like in shamanism?
Sure.
I'm
No,
a,
you just
yeah.
don't
So,
need to have a question. So I have clients that are like referred or gifted sessions from friends, and like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What is? And then the more the information comes through, people always have follow-up questions and things. I do have other clients that have like the list, and we go through the list of clients and questions and talk about all the areas and aspects that they want to peek at. So it really can be both. It's really individual to what's happening.
is it also the spirit guides? They are knocking your door at that time and that accessibility time, and then they come and tell you what exactly to be told, or it's only the records which you open and you say and whatever?
Yeah,
Do
so
you take
it's
the guidance of a, sorry if I can put it in a
oh,
different way, that
yeah.
you also take the help of the spirit guides
Yeah, it's
in this?
a little different because spirit guides are kind of down here on this realm, right? Like
Yeah.
spirit guides can come down to the physical.
Mm.
The guardians of the records, everyone has their own team of guardians, so to speak. And so if there is a particular one or two, they always are talking to me. It's like a full house when I'm channeling. And if I'm channeling something and then somebody's talking, I'm like, yep, sorry, I'm hearing, I need to say. And so I will relate very specifically. And it's so interesting. Everybody's team has their own voice, their own personality. Some are very dry, some have a lot of humor, some are very to the point. And it's really interesting how these spirit teams manifest for people. I love looking at that. But they're always so gentle and loving. That is the thing, because it's the most, I just find this to be the most beautiful part. And I feel so honored that people open their energy to me and I get to see this whole team of support that people often feel they don't have support. And it's like one of the coolest and most beautiful things to relay is that you are very supported. You have so many beings around you, above you, channeling to you all the time to support you in this unknown. I love that.
It's so beautiful when you are channeling and you yourself going through all the blessings at that time, even though
Yeah.
you protect yourself and everything, but because of the client, you meet so many, the light
It's true.
beings. I always
I
feel
do.
so blessed that through you, because you approached me and I sit down in the session, and it's not that I'm getting any messages, but experiencing that light and the grandeur because the
Yeah.
client has approached you, it's something like, oh, I'm always in awe. I am
Yeah.
always in awe. And this has never ended. It has multiplied only that every time. And
Mhm.
I enter in that because I'm with the shamanic practices. And when I enter the zone and all that, I don't know anything. It's just that,
Yeah.
oh my God. Oh wow. Okay. Acha. Okay.
It is. It's lovely. I love going into a session because I have no idea what's coming through. I have no idea
Nothing.
what's experiencing. And it's sort of like, it's the coolest space to be, right? Like you're just riding this wave, but this frequency of just light and love and divinity comes in. It's really a cool ride as a practitioner that we get to. It's just a bonus, right? Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. Does this also happen to you? It's a very personal question, Morgan, that when you are now in that, you're accessing the record for somebody. And during that process, in that path, in that journey and all, somewhere your answers appear. What you probably,
Mhm.
it's deep down there. And at that time, feel, oh, that was an answer for me. Also, I didn't realize that. It happens with
It's
you.
part of that thing you're talking about, that where the drop and the ocean. It's like Every once in a while, these gems, half the time I don't remember channelings because it's not mine to channel. Yet there are those little gems, these things that stick with you, and you're like, oh my word, that actually is very applicable to me. That really clicked something. And it reminds me how connected we all are, no matter how different the person sitting across from me on Zoom is, their life, their choices, their experience, yet we have the same answer that is supporting us. And I'm like, wow, it's just wild to me. It's beautiful, the design of it, right?
Yeah, that web of life is so alive.
It
And then it
is.
starts breathing and thriving and everything. And I said, oh my God, every time I feel so
Yeah.
much of connection is there.
It's true.
Wow.
And sometimes I'll be guided to share like a bit of a personal story or journey for a client because my experience somehow has answers for them. And there's just this connectivity that comes in. And, you know, I like it actually when my guides make me do that because I'm not the person with all the answers. I'm literally just the conduit. And yet I'm the human connecting with them in between. So,
Yeah, that's so amazing. Do you remember any specific case which appeared? Somebody came to you for an answer, like you told about this knee surgery, but anyone which is for the soul level things, or and then the, he or she got all the answers and major change in their life. Would you like to share?
oh, I do. I have so many clients that have had these major changes. I'll share a story of mine actually, because it just happened this summer and it's remarkable. One of it, because it paints like I'm just sort of creating this. I went into the records with this generality, with this sort of thing that I've been working with, right? This is another application. I was like, I want more stability in my life. And I divined stability for myself and working with spirit and all of these things. And was just kind of this ball of yarn of how can I bring more of this thing into my life? Because there's never one answer, right? There's this constant progress. And so one day I was in a meditation and it came to me in my records, and I was shown that my boy's father was going to have a health crisis and what I needed to do about it. And so I followed the steps from it. And I work part-time for a company that we create apps, and I'm a content creator, and it's all in the wellness field, and I love it. So I was guided to.
Yeah, so I had a really interesting experience this summer where I've been, a single mom in a foreign country. It's been kind of a journey finding my feet on the ground here, losing my career and getting this whole thing going. So I've been wanting to create more stability. And I feel like I've really made some strides there, but it's something I'm constantly working in my records with, at least for this last year. So I had this one session in particular I took in wanting to create more stability. And what was highlighted to me was the spaces that were not stable. And it was shown to me the father of my boys was going to be very unwell and have a health crisis. And what I needed to do about it. I needed to, rely on a little more support through another part-time job that I have. I work to create apps for a wellness company, create content, and I love it. So anyway, they gave me some real specific action steps. So I reached out and said, hey, can we, is there any projects that you have coming up for me, etc. And I just sort of sent it out did my thing, and I just went on doing my life, right? Well, the company came back to me about 3 weeks later with a big project that landed in my lap, and they needed me for it. 3 days after that project hit, my boy's father called and said, I can't take them anymore. I'm so unwell on all my medication. Like whatever happened, it happened. And I felt like I had something supporting me in this extra work, this extra income, this extra flexible hours to have my children full time. And it still just stuns me, the clarity of what was going to happen, trusting to take those steps, and then just seeing what happened, where the ripples manifested. And it was the most incredible thing. And I feel so very grateful. And I feel like I'll always be held even through really challenging situations because the records could bring things to my attention to that clarity.
That's so. Such an what should I say? An experience which is like opens up to that exact answer. What exactly you need to do at that
Yeah.
time. So can you access your own records, or you need somebody else
No,
help?
I can access my own records. And that's in my teaching. I teach others to access their own records because that level of empowerment to be able to go into my own records and see that about my boy's father and not have the fear and know the steps was incredible. Yes, I could have had somebody else read that for me. I'm not sure how tightly I would have held that inside the way that I saw it for myself. And I want that for other people to take
Experience.
into their very intimate details, their relationships, the things they want to move that are very, very vulnerable to them. Like, I feel like it's really important that they have the first lens on it.
Morgan, I would like to ask you one thing that when you talk about the session, how long does a session take place? A client approaches you. So how
Mm-hmm.
long for the whole to access the record, how long does it take?
It's usually a 45-minute session. Lots of information comes through, and that gives chance for people to ask follow-up questions, explore deeper a category, really have an understanding. But 30, 45 minutes is really, it's a quick shift in that sense because it's just a channeling.
So it's a channeling, or it also heals simultaneously, you being a Reiki master also. So does that also get included? Or it's
I
only a
don't apply
channeling and reading
Reiki. Yeah.
accessing the records?
Accessing the records is, I don't apply any sort of movement of energy in that because the information that wants to come out of one's energy field to their awareness has its own healing effect. I've witnessed that. There was a client I recently just did a channeling for around her fear of her relationship. It's the most wild story of her wanting to be a mom and doing IVF, and then she ended up meeting the donor in real life, and they fell in love and didn't realize he was the donor of her children. And so now they have this whole family thing, and the fear around how that progressed forward, just the few things that came out of her energy just shifted her reality so remarkably in that. So in that sense, like, you just don't need to touch, like, spirit has that going on, right?
Yeah, it's so beautiful when we say that you see more clearly with your eyes closed. Similarly, the moment you see something, it
Yeah.
simultaneously starts healing. We blindfold ourselves because of fear and because of trauma, because
Yeah.
of so much we don't know. The moment we see it with a divine intervention, it starts healing.
It is, and you can't unsee it, you can't unfeel
You
it,
can't
and you
unsee
can't
it. You
unknow
can't.
it.
So
And that's the
beautiful.
thing. It changes
Beautiful.
on all of those levels, and you're just
Wow.
different on the other side. In a case you were talking about, like health, if somebody were to come for health issues, that would be like a more complex case where we would do maybe like a channeling of their records and apply some energy healing specifically through either the physical, energetic, or mental aspect of their body. So something more complex like that would probably be a longer hour and a half, hour 15 session.
Markel, now I would like to ask, because you're a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you are making many, many more Akashic record readers. How long is that course, and what all is included in that?
Yeah, so good question. And this has been something I've been teaching for, I don't know, 2.5 years, quite organically, just kind of getting the downloads, how to do it and understanding it. And at the end of last year, I put it together in what I call the Akashic School. And it's really quite streamlined now, the way I've been teaching it. So level 1 is you learn to access your records. You learn about energy, and you get a couple of healing tools in there to apply into yourself. And that's just an 8-class session, 8-class series. So I run those periodically. Classes run for about an hour and a half, hour 45. You get a lot of learning materials. And then after 8 classes, you're able to access your own records. For people who want to go further, they can go into more of the healing, or you can go into learning how to read other people's records. Most people love that. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to read others' records now. Like, okay. So that's another 8-class series. So I've broken it all up into like 8 classes because it's digestible and doable over a 3-month period, only a couple classes a month to learn, apply the information to yourself, practice. As you know, it takes practice getting into those high frequencies and getting back out of them and allowing everything to recalibrate.
And do you also take the groups, or it's one-to-one when you're teaching Akashic Record?
I love teaching groups, and I'm moving more than that to that way. I do occasionally take one-on-one students still, but I love teaching in the group manner because, like you're talking about, the drop in the ocean, when we're in a collective container, and the biggest question is, no, you don't have to share your personal channelings to the group, but when we're in that open space, it's like you're talking about other people's answers. The answers are just more available to support, and it creates this really just really tight-knit community of this collective. And I like them in small groups, like 10 or less, because it's not so overwhelming, and you just can access the realm quite easily.
Yeah. And this is all online because you
All
must be
online.
teaching all over the world. And so it
Yeah.
is online. And do you also have offline Akashic Records, like the grade 1 classes like that, or week long? Is that till now, or 2 days or 3 days for the first grade? Have you planned
I
that?
haven't.
Do you have that?
I'm moving to that direction. Yes, I
Mhm.
have, because I've revamped them in a couple of different ways. So what I have, like the very first, for somebody who's not done anything, is sort of the intuition opening, and that's just a workshop. That's a couple-day workshop that is recorded. That can be done offline. I like to teach live because I can help people open the space further and see where they're going, where they're missing, where they're at, where they just nudge them in one direction or another, so that to make sure that energy is flowing through. Because one of the things that happens, as you know, when you get into that space, your channels open up. And so when you come out of that space, your channels are still open. So it's this whole thing about opening your intuition on all sorts of levels, whether you're in the records or out. And so really being right there to provide that kind of support of understanding our intuition speaks to us all a little bit differently. How that flows is why I like to do it live and haven't moved to so much of offline.
Mm. Uh, Can anybody join this? Or they should have something prerequisite? I mean, like they should know what is healing. They should either be knowing what is Reiki or pranic or any of other healing modality, or anybody just a fresh and they feel, okay, let me do this. Let me.
Really, anyone can do this. And that's the thing, is if they have some sort of, my teacher always taught me, if the records are calling you, it's your time. Like if you have any sort of interest to say yes, whether you know what Reiki is, if you've never heard of a chakra, it doesn't matter, because we all have a record. We all have a soul. We all have a higher self. You can get in there and do it without problem.
I love
Like I
that.
said, I have students that are learning to channel the records that are in their 70s. I mean, I just think that's incredible that they're still at their age evolving to want to know more, to practice more, to do more. And they don't have, one of them does not have any sort of energy healing background whatsoever. It's just divine to me. No matter what point of your life, you still can, explore more.
Yeah. Interestingly, I've seen that for the healing modalities also, there are more women than men
Mm-hmm.
available. They want to learn. Probably women are the
Yeah.
one who are working on a different ways, and they have that womb energy, and then they have this that, okay, fine, I feel more, and I am
Yeah.
nurturing, and okay, let it be, everybody should be fine. And that's what I always feel, that in healing workshops it's more of women. So you also have more of women than men?
I do have more women in my classes. I have about an equal parts, still a little bit more women, but I have a lot of men who come in for readings, and they, interestingly, a lot of them schedule like a monthly check-in, whether they have a business, whether they have this, but they really love this sort of energetic data points that come through and the sort of support. And I have a couple of men who have become really big referrers, and they refer a bunch of other men to me. And I love to see that there's this new generation available, that men can step into this and explore about themselves. I think it's great. Well, I'm a boy mom, so I want my boys to be a little bit more open too, you know?
Yeah. What is the youngest age you have read for the records or learned from you?
Yeah, so the records are interesting. Your children's records are held into yours until they're of about a certain age, around 16 to 18. It depends on the soul. So I'll channel a lot of children's records through their mom. Like there's a mom who has a teenager, she's one of my students, she's like, oh my God, what is happening with this person? Like, so we'll get in and see what's happening there. But probably my youngest taught, she was 26, and I find that divine. Like I just think it's so great, at all age, just
Yeah.
ahead of the game in that
That's true.
sense.
And the
Yeah.
oldest? And the oldest? 70 plus or
Oldest
something?
70 plus, yeah. I have a
Huh?
couple
So
70 plusers. I'm
interesting.
not sure the plus because I don't ask, but so
So interesting, because
oh,
I feel that uh, that yearning to learn, to actually experience that divinity. It's so
yeah,
beautiful that they still hold it after being a senior citizen, their family duties are
yeah,
done, and then they feel, okay, let me experience
yeah.
this through this studies also. It's so beautiful.
It
Wow.
is. It's reminded me of a story of one of my guys I channeled for, one of the men. He's 29 and he's extremely successful, like totally self-made, completely humble. I mean, he could retire. He could retire yesterday. And I'm doing this reading for him, and all of a sudden I watched it just drop in. And it was like the first metaphysical question he had ever thought about. He goes, I don't know why this came into my mind. What is my purpose? I've never thought about my purpose before. And I remember it was just blown away to see him connect with this light and what it unlocked in him to start considering this whole other thing about why he came here. It was just so beautiful to see that.
That's so beautiful. Wow. I can see that you love your work, Morgan.
I do. I love helping people. I love connecting with people, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so beautiful. Morgan, what would you like to tell your viewers about Akashic Record? A, B, when should they contact you? Right?
Yeah.
C, how they feel that they would be benefited if
Mhm.
they learn Akashic Records from you.
Perfect. Um, I would love to let everyone know that, I'm just so passionate about the well-being of other humans. And like we've been talking about, we all have things that maybe keep us from feeling our best or keep us from feeling we know what we're doing here. People often feel lost or they're off purpose or they're just the doubt, the questions, right? Like that is such the space to jump into the records because it's the answers that come from within that you can trust. And that's where people really need to start because as you learn those answers and trust them and apply them, you begin to create your own life and your own path that your feet can touch ground on. It's not this thing that somebody else told you to do. You're really walking what you came here to do. And it's that knowing, that feeling, that hearing that we've been talking about, that lands into someone really, really differently. So if anybody is feeling off purpose, feeling lost, feeling disconnected, whether it be relationally or within themselves, it is definitely a point to start in the records to move themselves and to help bring that light to what it is that they're looking for. We often don't know the answers we seek, but they begin to present themselves through the records. And having that ability, whether it's just a channeling to have that energy brought to you in that knowing, or to take that step further to learn to open them for yourself. It just depends on where you're at in your journey and how you want to unfold it at this moment in time. But they're always available. They always have been.
So beautiful. So that was something, when we talk about any records, and that also Akashic records, and how one can find that solace just by knowing, just by getting the answers, getting the questions and right questions, and then getting the answers of those questions. I think that right question also matters. What exactly you're looking for, because we are
Yeah.
confused, right?
Yeah.
and and once you have to begin with that one question, and then it probably leads to everything, because it's a Pandora's box which opens up, and you don't even know that what will come next, and it's written. And then somewhere, once you know it, you also hold that pen to rewrite your destiny, or to manifest it for the future thing, once you have
Yeah.
understood, healed, and everything. And now you take that responsibility of free will to write it what
Yeah.
exactly your life to be.
It is.
Is
And when
that
we have
so?
that
That's so
sort of,
interesting.
it is so interesting. And I love that. And the thing that I see is like when we have that pen for free will, we go, oh my God, all the stories of what we experienced in the past have come forward. And so having something like the records or having some sort of support to help us navigate the unknown or the unexperienced, the yet to be experienced, right? Is really powerful, because then we can get really imaginative about what is possible for us and what we're worth.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Morgan. It was so beautiful, and what a heartful, like conversation, which was wow. And so simply you have explained and shared your experiences. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you, Viva.
Yeah. And for all the viewers, all the details of Morgan Rockwell will be in the description box. You can contact her through Spiritual Tara, get your Akashic records reading done through her, and attend her classes to become a reader, and open the the Pandora's box, where so much you can create, so much you can know yourself, so much, and you plan it, and you proceed, you take that first step in clarity now, once you know the records. So thank you, Morgan. Thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
being associated with Spiritual Tara. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.